Hi everyone, welcome to Chinese Anchor. On this Halloween, let's tell a story that every household in China knows. A love story between a human and a demon. That story is the legend of the white snake. This timeless legend has been adapted into countless films and TV dramas. Today, let's step into the classic Chinese movie, Green Snake, hailed as one of the most daring and unique interpretations. It doesn't just tell a story of love between human and spirit, but one about humanity and desire, redemption and loss, and witness of faithful love tangled among humans, spirits, gods, and demons. Long ago, in an age when humans and demons coexisted, there lived a monk named Fa Hai, a man of a great spiritual power devoted to vanquishing evil. But fate had prepared for him something far more complex than demons, a trail of love, desire, and human nature itself. This man was Fa Hai. After years of cultivation, his power was immense. One day, he suddenly sensed demonic energy rising all around. Following the aura deep into the forest, he discovered an old man with a long beard, floating lightly through the air. Fa Hai approached and spoke with him briefly, but soon felt a chill in his heart. This man is no mortal. He must be a demon. Before the words had even faded, Fa Hai began to chant, unleashing his spiritual power. Within moments, the old man revealed his true form, a 1,000-year-old spider spirit. Fa Hai quickly subdued him and sealed the creature beneath a pavilion. But just as the battle ended, the sky darkened, lightning flashed, thunder rolled, and winds howled. Fa Hai could still feel an even stronger demonic presence nearby. Indeed, in the mountain woods not far away, two great serpents were lurking. At that very moment, a woman in the forest was given birth, and the two snake spirits used their powers to shield her from the storm. Seeing this act of kindness, Fa Hai lowered his weapon, sighed softly, and chose to spare them. Those two serpents, one had cultivated for 1,000 years. Her name was Bai Su Zhen, the other for 500 years, Xiao Qin. Tired of centuries of lonely meditation, they longed to feel the warmth and emotions of the human world. One stormy night, they transformed into human form and stepped into the mortal realm for the very first time. As they watched from the eaves, the bustling streets, the laughter, the tenderness of lovers, something stirred deep within their hearts. For the first time, they felt longing. But fate loves to play its tricks. While hiding on the rooftop, Xiao Qin slipped and tumbled right down. Meanwhile, Bai Su Zhen followed the flow of the river, and there, by the water's edge, she saw him, a man named Xu Xian. In that instant, her heart trembled. Something she had never felt before blossomed within her. She knew, without a doubt, he was the one she had been searching for in all her lifetimes. Xu Xian was gentle, refined, and kind at heart, a man of honesty and quiet grace. At first sight, Bai Su Zhen was utterly captivated. In her heart, she made a silent vow. In this lifetime, I will marry him, and grow old by his side. A few days later, the two sisters were drifting across West Lake in a small boat when they saw Xu Xian walking alone by the shore. Bai Suzhen smiled faintly, lifted her delicate hand, and the wine in her cup rose into the air, spilling into the clouds above and turning into a sudden downpour. "Oh my, it's going to rain," she said softly, her tone playful. The boat drifted closer to the bank, and Xu Xian was invited aboard to take shelter from the storm. And just like that, a destined love between a man and a spirit began. Inside the cabin, Bai Suzhen, graceful and warm, invited Xu Xian to dry his clothes and share a cup of tea. As he looked into her tender eyes and watched a single wet strand of hair fall softly across her cheek, his heart completely surrendered. As they parted, Bai Suzhen said softly, "Come to my home tomorrow to retrieve your umbrella." Her eyes lingered on him, warm, tender, almost glowing. But fate never intended for this love to be simple. That day, a wandering Taoist priest and his two disciples passed nearby. Sensing a trace of a demonic energy, they surrounded the house with sulfur, sealing every exit, determined to capture the spirits within. Xiaoqin, still young in her cultivation, was overwhelmed by the fumes and fell from the beam, trembling in pain. Just then, Xu Xian arrived. The Taoist shouted, "Run, young man! This house is home to two serpent demons." But Bai Suzhen remained calm. With a graceful flick of her wrist, the wine in her cup turned into a divine rain, washing away the sulfur, breaking the spell, and sweeping the Taoist away in a torrent of flood water. When the storm finally cleared, Xu Xian turned back, and there she was, that breathtaking woman, walking toward him through the mist, her smile as soft as spring flowers, her gaze gentle as flowing water. He had no idea that she was not human. Later, Xu Xian returned to her home, took a warm bath, and shared lunch with the elegant Lady Bai. Before long, their story began. Outside the window, Xiaoqin watched silently. Though she was a demon too, her heart longed to understand what love felt like for mortals. Despite their origins, the two serpent spirits never harmed humans. In fact, they were kind and pure. And when torrential floods struck the land, they used their powers to save lives. Xu Xian and Bai Suzhen soon fell deeply in love. They married, opened a small medicine shop, and devoted themselves to healing the sick. Their kindness spread through the city like warm spring rain. By their side, Xiaoqin remained mischievous yet fiercely loyal, a wild spark beside Bai's calm flame. But even she could not resist watching Xu Xian. Somewhere in her heart, a forbidden curiosity began to stir. One night, she danced before him, her movements fluid as smoke, her gaze burning like fire. Xu Xian's breath grew heavy. Desire, confusion, and guilt tangled within him. And just as the air thickened with temptation, Bai Suzhen returned home. From that moment, something fragile began to shift. Xu Xian's love remained, but his heart wavered, drawn by both purity and danger. Then one fateful evening, as Bai and Xiaoqing bathed together, Xiaoqing's playful tail slipped into view. Xu Xian saw it, and the illusion shattered. Terror seized him. The woman he loved was not human. Fever gripped him through the night. Dreams of serpents coiled around his soul. The sisters tried to soothe him, whispering it was but a trick of the light. We were weaving silk. Yet the silk, flowing and graying like moving scales, only deepened the unease, a veil of beauty hiding a truth too wild for mortal eyes. As the Dragon Boat Festival approached, Bai Suzhen warned her younger sister. During this festival, every household drinks a real girl wine. If you drink it, your true form will be revealed. She advised Xiaoqing to leave on the day of the festival to avoid the effects of the wine. But Xiaoqing stubbornly shook her head. I'm not leaving. On the day of the festival, Xu Xian perhaps didn't want to drink, so he found an excuse to pull out the real girl wine. Unaware that Xiaoqing was hiding in the lotus pond. As the wine entered the water, the shadows of snakes twisted and turned, and a huge green snake tail emerged from the pond. Bai Suzhen held Xu Xian tightly, preventing him from looking back. Fearful that he might see Xiaoqing's true form. But after a frantic chase, Xu Xian finally glimpsed the serpent demon's true shape. Overcome by terror, he immediately collapsed to the ground. It turned out that the fright had shattered his courage. To save her husband, Bai Suzhen and Xiaoqing rushed to Mount Kunlun, all for the legendary Lingzhi herb that could bring the dead back to life. It was said to be guarded by the crane of the southern polar model, untouchable by humans, and even more so by demons. But Bai Suzhen pressed on without hesitation. Using her profound powers, she fought the immortal crane, and finally retrieved the Lingzhi herb. Once the Lingzhi touched the pond, the lotus blossoms bloomed again, and Xu Xian miraculously awakened. Bai Suzhen smiled and said, You must have been drunk, seeing flowers everywhere. Once more, a kind line concealed the truth. Afterwards, Xiaoqing's longing for love grew even stronger. She found herself developing complicated feelings for Fa Hai. One was a monk of a pure heart and ascetic life. The other, a demon bound by desire and human nature. Between them, there was a tugging, temptation, restraint, and struggle. At the same time, Xu Xian gradually found himself drawn to Xiaoqing. Seizing the moment when Bai Suzhen was away, he went to Xiaoqing's room. A forbidden passion quietly ignited. And through it all, Bai Suzhen watched, her eyes taking in every detail. Fa Hai sensed what had happened and confronted Xu Xian. Your wife and that woman in green both are snake demons. He handed him a string of Buddhist beads, instructing him to use them to subdue the demons. But Xu Xian hesitated, and in a shocking moment of defiance, he threw the beads into the river. Back home, he only saw Bai Su Zhen, yet his mind kept wandering to Xiaoqing. He rushed out to find her. And at that very moment, Bai Su Zhen appeared beside him. A wisp of green smoke. Then she said, "Two women, you can only choose one." Unbeknownst to them, Fa Hai had already been waiting at the door. Enraged, he waved his hand, and the house turned to ashes. Another gesture, and the grass and the trees withered in an instant. Mountains and rivers trembled. "You dare betray my Buddhist order!" With a furious cry, Fa Hai seized Xu Xian, forcing him to shave his head and become a monk. And in that very moment, even Fa Hai's heart revealed cracks of jealousy and the shadow of a human desire. When Bai Su Zhen learned that her husband had been captured, grief consumed her. She and Xiaoqing rushed to Jinshan Temple to rescue him. A cataclysmic battle erupted. The towering Jinshan Temple soared into clouds. As Fa Hai cast spells to raise the monastery higher and higher, the water surged, thunder roared, lightning flashed. Bai Su Zhen fought with all her might, but the strain triggered her labor, and amidst the towering waves, she gave birth to a child. Fa Hai froze in disbelief. A demon? Giving birth to a human? For the first time, he began to question his own faith. Exhausted, Bai Su Zhen was sealed beneath the Leifeng Pagoda, never to walk the human world again. Yet in that moment, Fa Hai's heart revealed compassion and regret. He saved her child. Xiaoqing fought desperately to rescue Xu Xian, but when they looked back, Bai Su Zhen had vanished. Only the churning waters and wails of sorrow remained. In that instant, the air was filled with love, hatred, desire, obsession, all ultimately buried beneath the Leifeng Pagoda by time itself. Haunted by a longing for her sister and a burning hatred for Xu Xian, Xiaoqing raised her sword and struck. Some say this is more than just the story of the legend of the white snake. Demons, after all, spend their lives loving with all their hearts, while humans often resist love with cold reason. Fa Hai represents the fear and restraint within human nature, while Bai Su Zhen and Xiaoqing embody the freedom of emotion and desire. It is, in essence, a silent debate on the nature of humanity. Perhaps demons wish to become human to understand love. Humans seek enlightenment only to forget it. Sometimes demons are not necessarily greedier than humans, and humans are not necessarily kinder than demons. Alright folks, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from China. See you next time. Bye.